share, tak ada share. Okay. Okay, let's go. Saya pasang kipas, so saya off saya punya mic.
Assalamualaikum and good night to Sir Amizi and fellow friends. Tonight, my group will be presenting on topic of Islamic accounting and Zakat. So, this group consists of 2 members, which is me myself, Nurisa Sabrina, and Nila Atila binti Jalaini. For Islamic accounting, this topic will be presented by me, and Nila Atila will be presenting on the next topic, which is Zakat later. Contents that I'm going to cover for Islamic accounting included the Islamic accounting objective itself, the uses, the differences between conventional and Islamic accounting, needs for Islamic accounting, commonly terminologies, financial statements, and lastly the past situations on this topic. Moving with Islamic accounting objectives, there are 4 objectives proposed by the Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic financial institutions for the Islamic accounting. First is Sharia compliance, where Islamic accounting's approach is complying to the Sharia jurisdiction in Islam. It also promotes prohibition of riba, gharar, which is uncertainty, and maisir, which is gambling, in its practices, and that process makes them Sharia compliance. Second is the decision usefulness. The Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Financial Institutions recognize that the objective of financial report should provide information that is useful to present to the potential investors and creditors and other users in making rational investment, credit, and similar decision. So, such information could be the information about the Islamic bank compliance with the Islamic Sharia, and there are more. Third is stewardship, where the Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Financial Institutions point out that the objective of financial accounting is to contribute to the safeguarding of the asset and to the enhancement of the managerial and productive capabilities of the Islamic Bank while encouraging compliance with its established goals and policies. Financial reporting should also provide information about how the management of an enterprise has discharged its stewardship to shareholders for the use of the enterprise resources entrusted. And lastly is accountability, where it is said that accountability is a broader concept than stewardship and is the primary objective in Islamic accounting. Accountability is defined as a duty to provide an account or reckoning of those actions for which one is held responsible. The accountability objective extends into that responsibility to undertake or to refrain from certain actions and to provide an account of these actions. Moving to the uses, ada 3 uses of Islamic accounting information. Yang pertama ialah zakat beneficiaries. Pembayar zakat and government authorities yang in charge kepada zakat assessment and monitoring ni adalah disenaraikan sebagai zakat beneficiary. So macam pembayar zakat ni, kita semua boleh jadi pembayar zakat as long as kita capai requirement nisab. While government authorities ni pula macam lembaga zakat depending on setiap negeri. Macam contoh Selangor, lembaga zakat negeri Selangor, Kedah, lembaga zakat negeri Kedah, macam tu. Next will be the local community and employees, memandangkan employees mempunyai kepentingan penting dalam sebuah organisasi. Dan akhir sekali ialah consumers, as long as goods and services tu halal, which is permitted under the Sharia compliance. Proceed with the differences between the conventional and Islamic accounting. Islamic accounting and conventional accounting have got differences in many points, among which the six basic one have been highlighted in the following table. So for Islamic accounting, the definition is that accounting process which provide appropriate information, not only financial data to stakeholders of an entity that will enable them to ensure that the entity is continuously operating within the limit of Islamic Sharia and delivering on its socio-economic objectives. While traditional accounting, The definition is that accounting process aims to allow informed decision whose ultimate purpose is to efficiently allocate scarce resources available to their most efficient and profitable users by providing information efficiency in the market. So this follow without, this accounting does not comply to Islamic Sharia at all. For operation, Islamic accounting in operational, it perform everything within the limit of Sharia, while conventional accounting in operational, it allows everything to achieve maximum profit. In nature, Islamic accounting is conceptualized based on the Islamic principles, while conventional accounting is conceptualized based on principle of secularism and capitalism. For the governance, Islamic accounting is governed by Al-Quran and Sunnah, or Islamic Sharia, while conventional accounting is governed by accounting and commercial law and secular ethics. For the disclosure of Islamic accounting, it is full disclosure to satisfy any reasonable demand for information in accordance with the Sharia, and conventional accounting disclose limited disclosure provision of information subject to public interest. And lastly is consistency, where Islamic accounting consistency is based on Sharia and conventional accounting consistency based on GAAP, which is generally accepted accounting principles. Moving on, there are several needs for an Islamic accounting system, which are first, the limitation of conventional accounting. The conventional accounting hanya provides information to make different decisions tanpa disclose the environmental effects, social cost, lain-lain religious transaction of an entity. Memandangkan conventional accounting ni hanya provide partial information kepada pengguna financial statement dia, yang mana dia boleh menyebabkan kepada wrong decision and wrong dealing of the organisation. Sebab itulah need for Islamic accounting ni wujud kerana Islamic accounting provide semua information yang diperlukan termasuklah social, environmental and religious. Second is the compliance to Quran and Sunnah. Since dalam Islam ni kita ada peraturan kepada halal dan haram. So as Muslim kita perlulah sebaik mungkin baik kepada peraturan halal dan haram tu. Macam conventional accounting kan, interest based mungkin conventional accounting ni tak reveal appropriate value of assets dekat balance sheet untuk pastikan jumlah zakat yang accurate, dan pembayaran zakat wajib tahunan oleh orang kaya kepada orang miskin. Jadi untuk kita as Muslim users ni nak elak accounting practices yang tak seberapa comply kepada peraturan halal dan haram ni, therefore it is essential for us untuk follow and implement Islamic accounting to comply with Sharia accounting practices. The third one is a alternative accounting system for Islamic organisation. Nowadays, dah banyak Islamic organisation termasuklah bank, insurance and investment companies yang operate diorang punya business with specific Islamic objectives. Tapi pengguna interest-based conventional accounting yang diorang apply tu tak selari dengan Islamic objectives. So it is best and more appropriate kalau organisasi tu dapat adapt Islamic accounting so that diorang juga dapat achieve the socio-economic and religious objective of Islamic institutions and Muslim users. Next slide. Next is the contradiction between the traditional or conventional accounting and Islamic principles. Macam Islamic accounting ni, dia punya basis is profit, while conventional accounting ni, dia punya basis ialah interest, which is completely haram and forbidden dalam Islam. Jadi untuk elak that kind of undesirable accounting practices, keperluan kepada Islamic accounting yang patuh pada syariah ni wujud and diperlukan. And lastly is the Islamization of knowledge. Accounting juga sebenarnya perlu untuk di-develop based on Islamic principles so that dia boleh wujudkan keadilan untuk semua pihak dari segi penagihan harta secara adil dan dapat menyediakan maklumat yang accurate juga kepada masyarakat ataupun pengguna Islamic accounting ni. Next. So now we are moving to the Islamic financial system terminologies. So some of the commonly used contracts are the mudarabah, which is profit sharing, the musyarakah, which is profit and loss, which is joint venture, murabahah, deferred payment contract, and lastly is ijarah, which is leasing. So mudarabah, which is profit sharing, it refers to the agreement made between a capital provider and another party who acts as the entrepreneur. Profits are distributed based on pre-agreed ratios and losses are borne solely to the capital provider. So example kepada mudarabah ni ialah investment, depository product dan lain-lain lagi. Untuk musyarakah pula, which is joint venture, it refers to a partnership or joint venture for a specific business. The distribution of profit a portion based on agreed ratio and losses are shared based on respective equity participation. For example, project financing, asset financing, or depository products. And murabahah, which is deferred payment contract. This contract refers to a sale of goods at a price which includes a profit margin as agreed by both parties. The price or other cost and profit margin of the seller are stated at the time of the agreement of sale. For example, asset financing. And let's say for ijarah, which is leasing, this contract refers to an arrangement under which the lessor leases equipment, building or other facilities to a client at an agreed rental or charges as agreed by both parties. For example, equipment or asset financing. Now, let us proceed with Islamic accounting, financial statements. So setiap entity, diorang akan sediakan financial statement yang berbeza mengikut law and requirements maklumat pengguna statements tu. Macam financial statement yang dimaksudkan dekat sini termasuklah income statement, honest equity statement, cash flow statement and balance sheet. Tapi dalam financial statement untuk Islamic accounting, dia perlukan penyediaan report for zakat and their users, prohibited income and expenses, and social responsibility and human resource development. Dalam report of funds for zakat and their users ni, report ni memperincikan sumber dana untuk zakat, kaedah yang digunakan untuk collect zakat, dan termasuklah juga kawalan untuk safeguard dana ni dan kegunaan dia. And untuk report kepada prohibited income and expenses ni pula, dia disclose income haram yang diperolehi daripada transaction, sumber dan pembelanjaan yang dilarang dalam syariah dan macam mana income yang haram tu dilupuskan dan juga termasuk causes kepada income haram tu. Dan last report yang diperlukan yang perlu disediakan untuk Islamic accounting ni ialah social responsibility reports and human resources development reports. So ada beberapa scholars recommend untuk companies prepare value added statement. A value added statement macam gambar ni, dia menekankan entity performance daripada community viewpoint berbanding fokus kepada owner yang konsisten dengan Islamic view yang company are accountable to the community. And lastly, to represent the accurate financial position of the firm, it is suggested for firm preparing current value balance sheet at the end of accounting period. So finally, for past year questions, I extracted this question from 2011 April past year paper. So for question A, for question 1A, 1 Roman requires me to describe the meaning of Islamic accounting that consists of 4 marks. So for the answer, first is Sharia compliance, where the process of Sharia compliance refers to the process of identifying, measuring and communicating economic and other relevant information inspired by Islamic and complied with Islamic Sharia to stakeholders of an entity. Then second point is permitted or halal tool, which is Islamic accounting ni is a halal tool that enable Muslim users to evaluate their own accountabilities to God concerning interhuman or environmental transactions. So for the second question, which is question 1A to Roman, in comparison to conventional accounting, Islamic accounting is considered more holistic in its reporting, not limiting itself only to financial measures. So I need to explain why. Islamic accounting is considered as more holistic in nature. So this question also consists of 4 marks for the answer. First is Islam is a holistic code. That is, Islam is a holistic code for spiritual and material life, whereby the Quran and Sunnah offer guide on social and commercial matters. Islam also believes that each act has its own aftermath. Second is implement precautionary measures, whereby Islamic finance can be characterized with 3 major features, which is prohibition of riba, prohibition of gharar, which is uncertainty, and prohibition of maisir, which is gambling. And last point is ethical standard. Every act of the believer must conform to Islamic law and observe ethical standard based on Islamic principle. This ethical principle define what is true, fair, just, and nature of corporate responsibilities, the priorities to society, along with some specific accounting standards. So I think that will be all for Islamic accounting and from me, and I will pass the floor to Nadine. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina. Next, I will present about Zakat. First, let's take a look at what I will discuss today. First, we will take a look at the concept of Zakat, followed by the types of Zakat and the condition of Zakat. Next, I will present regarding the recipient of Zakat and calculation for that. Sixth is the benefits of it. And lastly is the past year paper. So what is concept of Zakat? First and foremost, Zakat is an Islamic finance term referring to the obligation that an individual has to donate a certain proportion of wealth each year to charitable cause. Zakat is a mandatory process for Muslims and is regarded as a form of worship. And in addition to that, giving away money to the poor is said to purify yearly earnings that are over and above what is required to provide the essential needs of a person or a family. And Zakat is an obligation in Islam to make contribution towards the less fortunate. And besides, it is one of the 5 pillars of Islam and is intended to redistribute wealth between the rich and the poor, as well as cleanse the wealth of those who pay zakat. Moving on is the types of zakat. There are 2 types of zakat, which are zakat fitrah al-fit and zakat on wealth or zakat harta al-mal. And there are several types of zakat categories under zakat on wealth, which are zakat on earning, zakat on saving, zakat on business, zakat on EPF, zakat on farming, zakat on gold and silver, and lastly zakat on livestock. What does zakat fitrah mean by is that zakat fitrah is a small levy that must be paid by all Muslims every year without fail, regardless of age, gender or wealth. This kind of zakat is payable from the 1st of Ramadan until before Idul Fitr prayer. However, it is best to pay zakat on the eve of Shawwal. And the rate of zakat fitrah is equivalent to the value of a bushel of rice with 2.7 kg. So how much is that really? How much is that really in actual ringgit? Each state declares that the zakat rate for the year based on the current price of its local rice, and the amount of zakat fitrah per person usually remains below RM10 ringgit. However, those who are capable and can choose to pay zakat fitrah according to the price of the rice brand they consume in their household, which may be more expensive. Moving on to the zakat of wealth al-mal. It depends on the amount of wealth that you have and how long haul you had it for. However, the wealth has to reach its nisab, which is the minimum amount upon which zakat is payable, and reach its haul, which is 1 lunar year. Besides, zakat al-mal is levied only on Muslim whose wealth exceeds a threshold called nisab. And the minimum threshold of zakat on saving or investment is 85 grams of gold or worth. And lastly, the rate of zakat is 2.5%. But however, for zakat on livestock, both the minimum threshold and the rate depends on the type and the number of the animal. Next subtopic is the condition of zakat. First and foremost, the person has to be Muslim because zakat is an act of worship to draw closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and to show obedience as a servant. Next is independence, which means yang seseorang tu bebas pada cengkaman penghambaan. The issue of slave does not arise nowadays, tapi syarat mereka masih dikekalkan oleh para ulama as one of the condition of zakat. And the person has to own their own wealth. The property must be fully owned and can be used at the desired time and perfect in terms of ownership, which is hak hiyazah, and the ability to manage hak tasarruf. And moving on is the person's minimum of wealth based on the nisab. Nisab is the minimum rate set by Sharia to make zakat obligatory. Some properties value that want to be donated must be equal or more than 85 grams of gold according to the current price. And lastly, the person must have the wealth in their possession for the minimum of haul. Haul is the elapsed period of 1 year, 12 months, the property is owned. And the calculation of haul in Islamic law is based on the date of hijrah, which is 365 or 366 days. When the property is owned for a full year, then zakat is obligatory for the person. Moving on is the recipient of zakat. There are 8 asnaf categories that are eligible to receive zakat. The first category is faqih. Faqih is the one who has neither material possession nor means of livelihood, one who suffers and has no means to sustain his or her daily needs, while miskin is those that has insufficient means of livelihood to meet his or her basic necessities. And the third category is Amil. Amil is the workers that associated with zakat institution and administer zakat affairs, including collection and distribution of zakat, financial affair, and so on. And next category is Mu'alaf. Mu'alaf is those who converts and recently embraced Islam. Fifth is Riqab. Riqab is one who is a person who wants to free himself from slavery. For example, the person should be given the zakat money so that he may release himself by giving the money to his master. Sixth is Garimin. Garimin is one who is in debt and requires assistance to meet basic needs such as utility bills and conservancy charge. Next is Fisabilillah, which is one who strives in the cause of Allah for betterment of the community. And lastly is Ibn Sabil. Ibn Sabil means those who are stranded during a journey. However, it must be beneficial and Sharia compliant. The next topic is calculation for zakat. For zakat fitrah, the rate is vary as it is depends on the each state. For example, for Kedah, the rate is RM7 ringgit, RM14 ringgit, and RM21 ringgit. The rate is vary according to the grade of rice they normally consume in threshold, while for zakat on wealth, the rate is 2.5% on the total annual gross income. However, it is obligatory to pay if the total income is more than the nisab rate. To show you what I mean, the nisab rate in Negeri Sembilan is 18,789 ringgit 75 cents annually, and the total gross income for Mr. A is RM33,800. So the calculation would be RM33 ringgit 800 multiplied with 2.5%, which is equivalent to RM845. The last subtopic for zakat is the benefit of zakat. Firstly, zakat cleans a Muslim's soul, enabling him to get rid of greed, stinginess, avarice, and the pursuit of worldly pleasures. When the rich pay out their share of zakat, the heart of the poor and the needy are purged of grudge, envy, and hatred toward the rich who are so kind to them. And thirdly, zakat nurtures kindly actions such as generosity and helping others in the heart of Muslim. Fourth, zakat is a sure and highly effective way to combat and ultimately eradicate poverty and reduce the crimes to which it leads, such as theft and bloodshed. Fifth, it strengthens the feeling of mutual care and social solidarity among Muslims because it helps to meet the needs of all people in society. And lastly, zakat helps the effort of Muslim advocacy throughout throughout the world. It makes Muslims better aware of what their faith requires of them and show non-Muslim the merits of Islam and the Islamic way of life. So lastly is the past year question. The question is from April 2011. Question 1B. It could be argued that the periodicity concept of conventional accounting is a manifestation of the whole principle from the Zakat system in Islamic accounting. Discuss how the Zakat system acts as the impetus for the development of Islamic accounting in the early Islamic state. For the answer, Zakat is an obligation of Muslims to give a specific amount of their wealth with certain conditions and requirements to beneficiaries called al-mutashikin. The concept of Zakat exemplifies Islam's strong concern with social and economic justice. It serves as an equitable redistribution of wealth and income, which is enforced through moral obligation and fiscal measures. As many have argued, however, the redistributive economic impact of Zakat depends on how it is administered, especially with regard to collection and distribution. Management of Zakat is financially self-sustaining. Those who collect and distribute Zakat al-Mal are paid from Zakat proceeds. Zakat collectors are among the Zakat al-Mal beneficiary in Islam. So I think that's all from our group. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Naili and Isa. Okay, first we open to the floor. Any question? Anyone that would like to ask this group on Zakat? Anything you tak clear? No question, yeah? Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
I just got curious about the Islamic accounting.
Islamic accounting.
But it's not from a group, just from your opinion, from your sir. Okay. Talking about the financial statement, we are for the Islamic accounting. So, is it the accounting standard must follow with the Islamic Sharia or anything else?
You mean in Malaysia? Do we need to follow Islamic accounting? Do we need to macam mana? In Malaysia, do we need to follow Islamic accounting in order in the process of preparing the financial statement?
Yes.
Okay, Islamic accounting ni, what I understand is the concept how people preparing the financial statement. Okay, they avoid any yang this group prepare tadi, anything that are not Islamic punya transaction semua tu, they have to follow all Islamic rules. Macam tak boleh gambling, tak boleh maisir, tak boleh ini, tak boleh itu semua, yang dah stated in Islam. So yang tu yang tak boleh prepare. In terms of preparation of preparing the financial statement yang normal punya company buat tu, that one tak ada perbezaan. There is no differences between you nak follow FRS dan juga Islamic accounting, because standard is standard. Islamic accounting ni, the way how you prepare you punya financial statement based on no illegal transaction, based on the true story of the company, tak ada any additional ataupun additional yang illegal transaction. Yang tu yang saya faham. Based on people who prepare the financial statement. That's why kita dah cover on earning quality, fraudulent financial statement, creative accounting, benda-benda semua itu kena based on kita punya hati, is whether we want to prepare our financial statement to true and fair view. In terms of preparation of financial statement, tak ada apa yang tak ada apa yang kita nak relatekan dengan Islamic accounting, because Islamic accounting tu is a concept sahaja. Apa yang you nak debit, apa yang you nak credit dalam account kita tu sama je. Tapi kalau Islamic finance, dia lain. Islamic finance, dia lain lah. Dia based on kalau nak ada credit card, kalau nak ada loan, kena Islamic loan, and then dia ada calculation. Kalau Islamic ada calculation macam ni, macam tu, ada akad between both parties. Islamic accounting dia tak ada undang-undang yang you kena debit untuk transaction jual beli, you kena ada debit apa, kredit apa, transaction tu semua sama actually. Tak ada beza. Cuma bila kita buat account tu, kita add on kita punya Islamic punya accounting, Islamic view dari accounting perspektif. Okay, maksudnya semua kita punya business tu kena ada syariah compliance, tak ada tipu-tipu, konsep yang kita guna tu is acceptable, reasonable, dan semua orang apply, semua orang semua Muslim apply. Contohnya kalau you buat depreciation tu, dia ada dua method, straight line method and then reducing balance method, yang tu dah generally accepted. So dalam Islam pun tak ada cerita pasal yang depreciation tu, as long as you follow yang the normal one dan accepted dia punya principle konsep tu, then okay. Kalau macam yang contoh yang macam yang tak boleh accept, bila you jual tu and then you mark up additional, bila maksudnya revenue you tu you mark up tinggi-tinggi and then you declare revenue tinggi, which is unacceptable, which is irrelevant to your account, to your business. Itu yang tak bolehnya. Islamic accounting tak ada sangat related dengan preparation process tu, preparation of financial statement punya process tu. It based the more to person yang prepare financial statement tu, management, top management, CEO, semua tu. Dia orang yang menentukan sama ada transaction tu boleh berlaku ataupun tidak. Orang account ni, kalau CEO suruh bayar, kita bayar. Kalau CEO suruh hold, kita hold. Kalau CEO kata proceed, kita proceed. CEO, CFO, COO, semua tu lah. Itu real life punya. Okay, soalan lain? Ada tak? Menjawab tak soalan tu? Maksudnya di Malaysia ni kita Islamic accounting tu based on konsep dia. Bukan based on FRS ke, tak ada. Islamic accounting tak keluarkan any standard yang we have to follow in the process of preparing our financial statement.
Dapat, sir. Okay.
Soalan lain? One question, one bonus mark.
Saya nak tanya.
Izzah Sabrina.
Untuk in future kan, adakah Islamic accounting ni akan di-develop oleh semua country?
Okay. Islamic accounting akan di-develop kita dah kalau ikutkan based on yang kita punya ni, kita dah develop Islamic accounting. Dan ada contoh yang based on my experience-nya dalam professional certificate ya. Kalau you ambil professional certificate, bila saya ambil ACCA tu, dia ada topik on Islamic accounting. Dalam SBR, rasanya strategic business reporting tu, dia ada satu topik on Islamic accounting. Dia memang ajar, globalnya dia ajar benda tu kepada semua orang yang ambil SBR ACCA worldwide. So benda tu dah di-develop, cuma kita tak guna sangat. Di Malaysia pun kita tak nampak pun Islamic accounting tu kena ada requirement by Bursa Malaysia untuk kita disclose dalam kita punya annual report anything related to Islamic accounting that we adopt in our working, in business lah, in business in company. Tak ada. Tak ada pun requirement kata you kena prepare report macam sustainability report, macam corporate governance report, tak ada. So Malaysia ni adalah agama negara negara kita officially negara Islam pun, kita tak pun sepenuhnya menggunakan konsep Islamic accounting tu. Kalau Islamic finance, yes. Kita boleh nampak lah bank, Islamic bank banyak. Kalau Islamic accounting tu tak ada sangat pun. So kalau you nak kata ni nak develop akan datang tu, saya rasa for the next 20 years pun kita still macam ni juga in terms of Islamic accounting. Sebab benda tu ada dah lama. Dah lama sangatlah since Rasulullah, benda tu dah ada sikit. Benda tu dah pun di-develop. Contohnya 1400 kan, sekarang 1400 Masihi kan. Contohnya. Ataupun tahun 2020 dah ni. Benda tu dah lama ada. Jadi dia depends on umat Islam sama ada dia nak guna, dia nak highlightkan, dia nak bring to the next level Islamic accounting tu atau tidak, it depends on them. Kalau nak kata develop for the future, for future tu dah ada dah sebenarnya. Kita tak guna. Contohnya contoh yang paling dekat dengan kita ialah contohnya hukum hudud, Islamic punya law. Malaysia pun tak guna sangat. Benda tu ada. Benda tu dah develop. Dah develop dan benda tu dah ada, tapi kita tak praktis sepenuhnya. Sama juga Islamic accounting. Okey, menjawab soalan?
Menjawab, sir. Thank you.
Okey, soalan lain sebelum kita proceed to the next group. Ada soalan lain? Okey, dua soalan daripada Islamic accounting dekat sini, dua soalan. Okay, next kita proceed kepada next group. Our last group for this for today's presentation. Tomorrow kita akan ada another one last. Before that, you punya kalimah kan? Okay. You punya kalimah ni, you punya slide presentation ni memang dia dah blend dengan dia punya team, which is Islamic punya team. Dia punya tu cantik sebab you memang dah ikut dia punya tema you punya tajuk ni. Okay, and then you punya pasir paper ni dia ada key point. You ada letak key point and then you buat line dekat dia and then you explain. Key point and then you explain. Okay, this one pun sama. Cuma dekat zakat ni you tak letak key point dia. Key point dia you tak letak. You cerita je. Saya tak tengok in detail dia punya jawapan tu. Tapi benda tu relate lah dengan you punya. Cuma makan penuh atau tidak tu saya kena double check betul-betul dulu. Okay. The rest you punya slide presentation ni tak ada masalah. Dia ada tema. You punya slide presentation you ada tema dekat sini. Okay. And then presentation you memang you dah record. You dah record siap-siap. Dia smooth lah. Dia tak adalah macam ada here and there. Okay. Okay. You punya presentation okay. So untuk you punya kali ini, you punya final presentation ni. Okay, you punya slide presentation 4.50, you punya ini 4.25. Okay, 87.5% you punya overall score ni. Yang ni 4.25 ni saya kira kalau presentation ni 4.25. Which is the highest pun 4.5. 4.5 ni Siti Syakira Zafirah yang ni the highest 4.5 ni. And then seorang sekali je 4.5 ni keluar. So second is 4.25, which is good lah for me. Okay, so you punya overall 8.75 and then you punya overall 8.75. Okay, ini overall you punya overall ya. Overall. Okay. Saya ada juga ambil penilaian untuk previous punya presentation juga. Ada juga sedikit, maksudnya kita review daripada you punya round pertama, round kedua, round ketiga, round keempat, and then saya bagi markah untuk keseluruhan untuk you punya presentation ni, 8.75. Okay. Untuk saya sekarang ni, tak ada lagi satu group yang betul-betul shining, yang outperform, yang betul-betul perform betul-betul tak ada. So far average-nya semua presentation ni dia satu standard, satu group. Kalau group tu A minus, semuanya A minus setakat ni. Tak ada lagi yang A betul-betul A tu. Okay. Okay, jom sama. And then kita hopefully next presentation ni dapat grade yang berbeza daripada orang lain ni, yang 8.75. So far semua average dia 8.75 untuk semua presentation. You all semua satu level presentation you. Ada here and there tu normal lah, ada kurang ada lebih. Tapi overallnya sepanjang 4 round ni, saya boleh concludekan you all ni dalam satu group. Kalau ikutkan dia punya grade, dia punya level dia. Okay, jom.
Sir, saya punya cara presentation improve tak, sir?
Improve. Cara you punya presentation tu improve. That's why saya bagi 8.75 ni. You punya slide improve, no problem. 8.5 tu is the highest lah. Saya jarang bagi 4.75 sebab saya punya block ialah 0.25. So saya nak bagi you 4.5 ni, you contoh lah kan. You punya presentation tu saya pun tak pandai sangat. Tapi you punya presentation macam you jadi lecturer biasa. You tak macam contohnya tiba-tiba you tak buat happening sikit ke. Dia macam you buat sesuatu yang berbeza. Yang tu mungkin boleh bagi additional marks lah. Cara you kita boleh nampak lah bila present tu macam saya present pun sama macam you all juga. So markah saya bila saya present untuk contohlah untuk saya punya master accounting dulu pun tak adalah jauh beza sangat pun. Jadi lebih kurang ni juga kita ni. Dia tak adalah extraordinary bila kita present tu. Cara you bercakap tu, tangan you bergerak, kulu kilir you dah ada macam-macam. Yang tu baru boleh bagi markah yang banyak untuk presentation tu. Okay,
Saya kat dia sangat bisa tak nampak. So sir, kalau lepas ni kalau nak present, kalau buat game ke, tanya orang soalan ke, macam tu lah yang saya suka.
Boleh juga. Dia ada macam sense, ada additional punya. You berbeza daripada orang lain. Macam tu. Sebelum ni, before this, ada satu group tu dia guna Prezi kan. Prezi. Tapi Prezi tu tak boleh save dalam PDF, dalam Microsoft, dalam PowerPoint. Maksud dia ada grafik. Grafik tu bergerak-gerak. You punya presentation tu. Pun boleh bagi markah ekstra jugalah. Ini skill presentation tau. Markah dalam slide you tu 4.5 tu dah okey. Info semua dah ada. Cuma mungkin you cari yang benda yang kreatif untuk you present. Contohnya sekarang saya tak nampak yang perkataan tu dia bergerak ke, kan biasa orang guna animation ke, dia guna video ke, you ambil video YouTube, you masukkan dalam presentation you ke. Dia banyak benda yang tak ada tu. Yang tu yang tak ada markah bonus tu.
Okay, sir.
So nak makan lebih dia kena kreatif. So next presentation lah individual presentation. Mungkin you boleh ambil video 5 minit ke, video 3 minit ke, mungkin you record dekat tepi kolam ke. Dia kreativiti lah, baru dapat makan penuh. Makan banyak lah dalam 9/10. You pergi ajak Nelly tu pergi kat tepi tasik. Tasik mana tasik ni, tasik UV tu, you record dekat situ sambil berviewkan kolam. Contoh macam tu. Sedikit kreativiti lah kat situ. Okey, itu akan dapat markah ekstra lah. Itu presentation skill. Creativity. Okey, jom. Okay, CSR. Set off mic sebab saya nak pasang kipas.
So today, my group will present the topic of corporate social responsibility. Our team consists by me, Nur Fatih Atira binti Rosdi, and also my friend Nur Farah Atika binti Mahdi. This is a list of presentation that our group will present. For the first one is meaning, purpose, function. Second one is type of CSR, pros and cons, and also example, how to implement CSR, for responsibility, CSR report. Last but not least is past year paper. Okay, so next I will pass to Farah Atika.
Okay, the first one I would like to talk about the definition of corporate social responsibility or CSR. CSR is a form of international private business self-regulation which aim to contribute to social goal of a philanthropic activist or comparable nature by engaging in or supporting volunteering or ethically oriented practice. Why? Once it was possible to describe CSR as an internal organization policy or a corporate ethic strategy. That time has passed as various national and international laws have been developed and various organizations have used their authority to push it beyond individual or even industry-wide initiative. Why it has been considered a form of corporate self-regulation. For some time over the last decade or so, it has moved considerably from voluntary decision at the level of individual organization to mandatory schemes at region, national and international level. Okay, next slide. I want to talk about the purpose of CSR. The purpose of corporate social responsibility is to give back to the community, take part in philanthropic case and provide positive social value. Businesses are increasingly turn to SR to make a difference and build a positive brand around their company. Okay. The next slide is type of corporate social responsibility. The first one is traditional CSR and the second one is contemporary CSR. Di slide ni juga kita dapat tengok perbezaan antara traditional CSR dengan contemporary CSR. In terms of focus, traditional CSR focus a way to share or given back. For contemporary CSR, focus a way to generate profits, and traditional CSR drivers image, brand, public acceptance. For contemporary CSR, drivers performance, markets, and products. Next is traditional CSR actors, corporation, unilateral philanthropy, and the contemporary CSR actors, corporation plus multi-stakeholder network, collaboration, value creation. Okay, for traditional CSR, in terms of relation to the bottom line, value distribution. For contemporary CSR, in terms of relation to the bottom line, is value creation. Next is traditional CSR. In terms of orientation, is reactive. For contemporary CSR, in terms of orientation, is proactive. The last one is motto. Motto for traditional CSR is bold on. For contemporary CSR, motto is CSR is bold in. Okay, the next slide is focus on advantages of CSR and disadvantages of CSR. For advantages of CSR is responsible businesses attract more investors, reduce their risk, and address stakeholders' concerns. The second one is creating a better environment while making a profit. The last one for advantages is most consumers prefer to buy products from companies that use CSR. For disadvantages of CSR, many critics view corporate social responsibility as a ploy that company use as a means to generate profit. Okay, CSR example, sebenarnya banyak example dalam Google kalau kita cari, tapi sini saya fokus beberapa je lah example. Mungkin senang untuk kita faham. Okay, the first one is supporting charity and philanthropy initiative. Second one is going beyond legal requirement in adopting progressive human resource management programs. The third one is not testing product on animal. Macam kita tahu, banyak sangat loan ni pun company nak keluarkan satu-satu produk, dia orang akan test kat haiwan. Padahal benda tu tidak digalakkan dah. Kalau boleh macam jangan buat benda tu. Sebab haiwan pun nak hidup. Lepas tu recycling, preventing pollution, supporting local businesses, endorsing product with social attributes or characteristics.
Okay, so my part I will present how to implement CSR. As we know lah, maksud CSR ni tanggungjawab company terhadap society. So that macam mana satu company ni dia nak menjalankan CSR dalam bisnes diorang. Okay, for the first one is get involved with local community. Like one way to demonstrate your commitment to corporate social responsibility is to get involved with your local community. For example, participated in local events, buy from local suppliers and also get involved with community decision. For the second one is volunteer. Another way that you can give back to the community is by having your staff volunteer within it. For example, they could volunteer in a local care home, helping to serve meal or help children with their reading in the local primary school. So maknanya dekat sini staff kita jadi volunteer lah dekat mana-mana event. Okay, third one is go green. That's mean you should aim to cut your power and electricity output. For instance, that I can give is ask all staff to turn off their computers when they are not using them, such as on their lunch break or during meeting. Second one is ensure everyone turns light off in a room when they leave it. Last but not least, for the example, unplug any electrical appliances when you are not using them. So maknanya macam mana satu bisnes ni dia nak selamatkan environment, so that dia kena menjimatkan lagi elektrik lah. Okay, last but not least is support the development of your employees. Part of CSR involve ensuring that your employees feel happy, healthy and safe whilst at work. That means you should invest in your employees' personal and also professional development and encourage their progression. For instance, one company can allocate one afternoon slot every week for employees to work on their personal development. Okay, so dekat sini pula maknanya satu bisnes ni dia boleh berilah berikan masa ataupun ruang untuk staff, maknanya untuk staff tu buat apa yang dia orang suka lah. Okay, next slide. Okay, next part is Carol CSR Pyramid. Okay, so dalam slide ini kita ada 4 level ataupun 4 jenis of CSR lah, di mana dalam keempat-empat ni dia explain how and why satu organisation ni should take social responsibility. Okay. Other than that, keempat-empat jenis ni amat pentinglah untuk organisation di mana diorang kena tahu, diorang kena faham lah keempat-empat function dia. Okay. For the first one is economic responsibility. Firm has a responsibility to use the resources available to produce goods and services for society. Okay, that's mean tanggungjawab satu company tu dalam untuk mengeluarkan goods and services untuk society. For example, generating a high and consistent level of profitability, establishing and maintaining a strong competitive position. For the second one is legal responsibility. The law and regulation that all firms are expected to follow as they perform their daily function. So, legal responsibility ni amat penting untuk satu organisation ni sebab macam mana satu company ni dia nak conduct in the marketplace. Sebagai contoh, operating consistent with government and legal expectation. Third one is ethical responsibilities change over time because they are based on the expectation of society. Okay, maksudnya pula dekat sini, satu company ni tak hanya patuh kepada law sajalah, so that diorang kena follow business ethically juga. Contohnya, ada setengah business ni dia boleh buat tu, ada setengah business ni tak boleh buat. Macam itulah. Okay. Last but not least is discretionary responsibility, or we call philanthropy. Those responsibilities in which society does not have a clear message to present to businesses as to what their courses of action should be. For example, giving charitable organization, providing drug treatment program, and also providing daycare and centers. So, untuk lebih faham lagi, be a good corporate citizen. Okay, so now let's be moving on for the definition of CSR report. CSR report is an internal and external facing document companies used to communicate CSR effort and their impact on the environmental and also community. It is one of the effective tools to communicate an organization business effort, goals and plans to help the environment and community along with the impact it's had so far. So maknanya apa aktiviti yang satu company tu buat untuk society ataupun environment, dia orang akan record dalam CSR report ataupun kita panggil sustainability report. Okay, for the purpose, CSR report aim to enable companies to measure the impact of their activity on the environment, on society and also the economy. This way, companies can get accurate and insightful data which will help them to improve their process and have a more positive impact on the three cornerstone mentioned above. So, maknanya daripada CSR report ni jugalah company boleh estimate kesan aktiviti terhadap environmental, society and economy. Maknanya apa yang aktiviti satu company tu buat, dia boleh nampak kesan melalui CSR report. So daripada CSR report ni jugalah satu company tu boleh buat improvement lagi lah dalam corporate social responsibility. Okay, now we look for the what makes a good CSR report. On this slide, we have three main points. For the first one is it is published and promoted effectively. That means a CSR report should be accessible both in terms of its type and how easily the general public can obtain it. Therefore, company also should promote their CSR report and feature them prominently on their website so that they can reach their total potential audience. For the second one is it outlines how result will be measured. A company can demonstrate accountability by explaining all aspects of its process, including how progress will be measured, Clarity and transparency are crucial to building trust. Last but not least is it can be measure progress against previous goal. That's mean each CSR report should have a strong relationship with the previous one, showing what has improved in a company's operations since its publication. By analyzing CSR report, stakeholders should be able to track a company's social responsibility journey. Next subtopic is motivation for embracing CSR reporting. So basically we have three main points. But the first one is increase access to capital and shareholders value. That's mean one way that firm consider social responsibility is disclosure to increase access to capital and shareholders value by satisfying stakeholders expectation. So that for the company having key stakeholders who are keenly concerned with their financial performance, such as shareholders, a current increasing trend in social responsibility investment, or we call SRI, has become one of important consideration as the actual data in the report result in a screening inclusion for exclusion of SRI. For the second one is risk management. Basically, in current business environment, the importance of social risk has been increased among other traditional risks such as technological, economic, and also political risks, so that it is hard to integrate CSR activities into company strategic risk management so that the impact of CSR activity can be maximized. Last but not least is reputation and brand management. As we know, our reputation and brand management is considered to have most direct link to financial benefit. In particular, this trend is more visible for industry which have end customers such as retail and also food.
Okay, for final year paper, kita orang jumpa satu soalan ni. Tapi saya akan jawab soalan B1 sahaja dan B2 Atirah akan sambung. Okay, the question is what the factor that motivate corporate responsibility in dealing with the environmental and social reporting. Sini saya ada bagi dua isi dan huraian sebab soalan ni pun nak 4 markah je. Okay, the first one is customer engagement. Half of the point of CSR is to benefit the company and improve its reputation. Basically, you want people to know about it. Using CSR can help you to engage with your customer in different and new ways. It can be easy to strike up conversation with your customers since the message is about something good. Okay, the second one is employee engagement. Along the lines of customer engagement, it's important and beneficial that your employees know what's going on within the organization. You are missing an opportunity if you keep your business CSR in the dark. Employee will gain a sense of pride and happiness toward the company if they are aware something good is going on. Okay, that's all in my part, and I pass to the Atirah.
Okay, now we go for the second one, past year paper. The question is describe the social contract as the theoretical framework that outlines development of corporate concern for social and also environmental issues. Okay, for the answer is the social contract refer to the agreement that describe condition, rules and responsibilities accepted by society. It is inherited that people who live in society should follow laws, morals and also value to adjust in society. Other than that, the social contract has important in corporate social responsibility because it allows businesses and individuals to follow norms and action. It also can help companies prevent activities that can harm social standard or policy and be illegal in social value. Okay, so next we go for the social issues. For the first one is failure of the public to recognize organization through CSR, which means even if the activities of the organization benefit the society, the actual benefit is totally negligible in the eyes of the community. Companies that work in this direction never get the due credit for it. Okay, last but not least, for the environmental issues, reducing packaging waste, particularly in the food and personal goods sector, companies are making changes to the packaging they utilize. Businesses that traditionally use plastic are turning towards alternatives such as glass, recycled plastic, or aggregates. So that's all from us. Thank you. Do you have any question?
Thank you for this group. Now we open for Q&A station. Anyone?
Sir,
Yes.
yeah, I got some question regarding about the corporate social responsibility. Okay, from what I'm understanding, like an event from non-profit organization, is it a traditional CSR or contemporary CSR?
Yang mana tadi? Which one?
Okay, for example, like a event of
Event.
event from non-profit organization, is
Okay.
it from what do we call a traditional CSR or contemporary?
Okay, cuba jawab Fatin ataupun Atikah, Farah.
Saya
Event,
rasa
event
contemporary, sir.
Contemporary. I tak sure you punya soalan ni macam mana. Event untuk non-profit organisation is contemporary ataupun traditional. Maksudnya macam mana tu? Apa soalan tu?
Okay, contohlah, let's say that event tu dia from non-profit organisation, like example what do we call program of immunization.
Non-profit organisation tu macam persatuan-persatuan, macam persatuan contohnya persatuan apa ya? Kucing ke, persatuan kucing ke, persatuan kanser, drug ke, persatuan-persatuan yang bukan non-profit punya. Okay, dia buat event.
Okay, dia buat event tapi for event yang berkaitan dengan for example macam kita kan ada buat program imunisasi kebangsaan kan.
Okay.
Okay, so dari segi CSR tu, adakah CSR tu terdiri daripada traditional ke ataupun contemporary?
Itu soalan dia punya, CSR tu terdiri daripada contemporary ataupun traditional. Sebab CSR tu adalah aktiviti yang company buat for the society. Aktiviti yang company buat untuk contribution dia kepada society. So dia tak ada contemporary, dia tak ada traditional, dia ada aktiviti. Kalau you nak kata aktiviti yang macam zaman dulu dengan zaman sekarang ni, for me dia tak ada beza sangat. Yang penting you buat aktiviti untuk society. NPO kadang-kadang dia bukan more to CSR. Sebab dia memang dah organisation dan dia buat aktiviti tu semua dengan rela hati. Tanpa aim, yang pertama ialah tanpa aim untuk cari duit lah. Program imunisasi negara tu itu bukan CSR. Itu adalah kerajaan punya what we call kerajaan punya tanggungjawab, dia buat benda tu. Program imunisasi kebangsaan. Itu adalah aktiviti kerajaan. Dia bukan CSR.
Tapi
Program
kan,
immunity kan.
Tapi rasa based on apa yang saya pernah experience sebab saya pernah jadi volunteer untuk program imunisasi kebangsaan. But mostly dia ada campur tangan dengan private institution which is klinik lah. So tetapi program tu memang di bawah kerajaan inisiatif. Tapi but mostly when I talk to the what do we call organizer, berkata responsibility adalah bergantung kepada clinical untuk ni. So tu saya tertanya, adakah itu CSR? Kalau itu CSR, saya nak tahu sama ada itu traditional ataupun contemporary.
Okay. Yang saya faham lah kan, those yang contoh klinik you cakap tadi, klinik yang join contohlah kan program imunisasi kerajaan tu, dia dibayar duit tak untuk dia join ataupun dia dengan sukarela dia join?
Yang tu saya tak boleh nak katakan lah sebab saya pun tak tahu what's the relation. Tapi dia memang ada campur tangan antara private institution dengan government.
Okey, contoh dekat bawah saya ni ada Poliklinik Al-Razi kan. Poliklinik Al-Razi ni dia memang bagi immunity ni, contoh kalau COVID-19 ni vaksin lah contohnya, immunity vaksin. Dia memang bagi vaksin dekat for those yang dia private clinic, dia bagi vaksin dan vaksin tu berbayar. Dia charge RM150 vaksin tu. Kalau nak dapat kat private hospital, you kena bayar vaksin tu. So yang tu bukan CSR sebab dia memang berbayar dan itu adalah bisnes dia. So for those klinik yang bagi vaksin percuma, yang kerajaan salurkan vaksin dekat dia tu, yang tu pun tak nampak sangat dia punya CSR tu. In terms of yang tu lah. Kecuali dia dengan sukarelanya membantu kerajaan memberi vaksin tanpa sebarang bayaran. Sebab sukarelawan vaksin tu pun dibayar kalau tak silap saya. You dapat duit daripada you kerja tu. So you bukan buat CSR tu. Dia CSR plus ada payment yang you dapat. You tak jadi sukarelawan tanpa bayaran. Kan? Dia CSR juga tapi half je. Dia tak boleh 100% CSR. So kalau sama ada traditional yang saya faham, kalau macam ni you nak inform macam ada traditional way, ada contemporary way. Maksud traditional tu cara lama untuk kita buat CSR tu. Is it macam tu?
Adalah sedikit adalah nampak kefahaman daripada Sir. Tapi macam contohlah based on saya pernah jadi volunteer tu kan. Ada yang contoh macam student, saya pernah jadi volunteer untuk wakil dekat PPV UiTM lah, UiTM Shah Alam lah. So, ada certain daripada volunteer tu, dia bagi tahu only student UiTM tak dibayar tetapi only for the corporate social responsibility.
Itu program imunisasi kerajaan, imunisasi kebangsaan tu lah kan? Kan program lain?
Yang tu pun boleh katalah under imunisasi kerajaan juga. Tapi dia campur tangan. Itu saya tak boleh nak katakan sebab it is too complicated apa yang saya pernah experience.
Saya punyalah based on saya punya pemahaman daripada soalan you ni, mungkin UiTM contohlah kan, contohnya UiTM tu dia ada collaboration dengan Kementerian Kesihatan. So itu UiTM punya CSR. Mungkin boleh jadi macam tu. Saya tak sure badan apa yang you sedang share ni. Contohnya kan, kalau macam dia ada kolaborasi bersama UiTM, kerajaan dan klinik semua tu. So UiTM ni free, student dia tak perlu bayar. Itu mungkin CSR UiTM kepada society. Itu boleh jadi CSR jugalah yang tu. Dari segi tradisionalnya, biasanya kalau pemahaman saya lah, tradisional untuk CSR ni, dia macam gotong royong rumah anak-anak yatim, cuci kubur, cat masjid. Itu traditional way. Mungkin advanced way dia gunakan latest technology. Dia advertisekan secara percuma untuk rumah anak-anak yatim. Dia buat social media punya, dia utilize social media platform untuk dia encourage people to help this society, rumah orang tua, rumah anak-anak yatim, persatuan kanser, persatuan dysleksia, persatuan drug punya club, drug addict punya club, apa-apalah yang persatuan-persatuan yang tu. Itu yang saya cuba sampaikan, yang saya cuba untuk faham you punya soalan ni lah. So sama ada contemporary ataupun tu nanti saya cuba search ada tak dia CSR ni kita pecah kepada contemporary ataupun traditional.
So kiranya macam traditional CSR ni is example like public relation program lah.
Public relation, mostly CSR ni memang public relation punya program. Public punya relation kan, relationship between public and corporate. Kan? Public orang awam dan juga company lah, corporate.
Yes.
Traditional to modern, contoh kat sini dia kata traditional to modern CSR has undergone a paradigm shift. Macam ni ke you maksudkan? Jangan saya share. Yang tajuk atas ni. Traditional to modern CSR has undergone a paradigm shift. Macam saya buka sikit. Traditional to modern. In the age of intense competition, CSR, corporate, work level, the new order. Ini aktiviti dia ni. Environmental, no longer issue ini. One-off event carried for selected few kind of culture. Ini dia nak cakap movement from traditional ni kepada modern. Modern sekarang ni company buat CSR ni memang is a part of company punya activity towards society, dan dia bukan saja-saja buat, dia ada reason dia buat di sebalik CSR tu. Contohnya tanam pokok dekat tanam pokok bakau contohlah tanam pokok bakau dekat tepi laut contohnya. So kerana nak menghakis, dan program tu is a long term punya program sampai pokok tu besar. So sekarang ni orang buat CSR tu untuk dari segi yang moden saya faham ni, they are doing the activity in a long term. Ada juga yang tanam pokok untuk tambahkan kehijauan di Malaysia contohnya. Dia tanam pokok, is a long term punya relationship. And then ada juga dia ambil foster family, macam anak-anak angkat semua tu, and it's long term. Itu yang saya faham apa yang orang buat sekarang. Dia bukan macam one off, sekali buat dah tutup. Dia boleh jadi, it's a program, it's a long term program. Contohnya satu company dia buat sekolah angkat. Dia ambil sekolah dekat rural area tu, dia buat sekolah angkat, and then dia develop sekolah tu for the next 5 years sampai 10 years tu, dia jadikan sekolah tu sekolah angkat. And then dia buat program, continuous program semua tu, and then mungkin satu hari dia melahirkan pekerja-pekerja yang boleh bekerja dengan dia satu hari nanti daripada sekolah tu sendiri. Dia banyaklah dia punya tu. Okey. Dapat menjawab tak sedikit sebanyak? Sebab saya tak jumpa yang contemporary ni tadi. Ataupun contemporary ataupun traditional way. Yang ni adalah corporate social ni COVID-19 punya. Traditional way to address new social issue. Okay. Partnership are mainly aimed to provide food, health, social, technological support to society and vulnerable individual. To the best of our knowledge, this is first study ini society. Ini bantuan secara tradisional lah. Ni salah satu daripada ni contohnya. Okey tak yang tadi? Sebab saya cuba Google traditional CXR example, contemporary CXR example. Kalau contemporary, common, reducing carbon footprint, improve labour policy participation. Yang ni contemporary. Social environmental. Kalau traditional tadi? Traditional modern, traditional versus strategic. Ni ke? Ni, you nak, you maksudnya yang ni you masukkan. Proaktif, okay, faham. This is share. Ini the way dia buat CSR lah saya rasa. Traditional is a way to share or give back, a way to generate. Okay, betul. Kalau dia kata dekat sini, yang you cuba sampaikan kat sini, yang pertama dia ambil fokus. Traditional CSR, a way to share and give back. Okay, yang ni normal punya. Sekarang ni, contemporary CSR ni is a way to generate profit. Dia buat CSR, tapi at the same time, dia dapat income daripada CSR dia tu. Okay. Kalau program imunisasi kerajaan tu, kalau klinik tu, yang tadi saya cerita dia ada mix kat situ, separuh dia CSR, separuh lagi actually dia dapat payment daripada kerajaan. Yang tu dia akan fall under contemporary CSR. So dia dah mix kat situ. Dia dah jadi half-hearted dah untuk dia buat traditional tu. Maksudnya dia buat CSR, tapi at the same time dia nak juga dapat income daripada CSR dia tu. Contohnya, dia nak buat CSR, dia jual, buatlah jualan amal contohnya. Jualan amal dia tu, dia tak nak beli sepenuhnya barang untuk dia jual tu. Mungkin dia minta sponsor. Dia cari sponsorship banyak-banyak, and then dia buat jualan amal, duit daripada collection tu dia akan distribute, at the same time dia dapat duit daripada orang di belakang dia yang support dia tu, and then dia boleh bagi income sedikit kepada dia punya persatuan yang dia wakili ke, company yang dia join ke. Maksudnya company tu ada income sedikit daripada CSR tu, mungkin daripada jualan tu sedikit dia ambil portion daripada situ, ataupun itulah dia dapat sumbangan daripada orang-orang luar. Satu lagi contohnya, kalau kita buat konsep amal. Jualan tiket tu kita akan salurkan kepada persatuan kanser. Okey, dan actually contohnya penyanyi, contohlah kan, Anwar Zain. Okey, dia buat konsep amal. Saya percaya dia tu dapat duit daripada konsep tu juga. Mungkin ada dia ada maksud contoh persatuan kanser tu akan bayar kepada Anwar Zain ni sebab Anwar Zain buat performance kat situ, and at the same time orang punya donation tu, a portion of that dia bayar kepada Anwar Zain tu untuk Anwar Zain perform malam tu untuk konsep tu. So Anwar Zain menggunakan konsep contemporary CSR lah kalau dia macam tu. Kalau Anwar Zain tak minta apa-apa bayaran, dia akan jadi traditional CSR. Okey, saya dah jumpa dah apa yang you maksudkan tadi. Mungkin yang ni lah kot.
Temporary lah kiranya.
Contemporary CSR. Kalau dia dah ada macam niat untuk mendapatkan profit tu sedikit. Ada return lah. Okey, soalan lain on CSR sebelum kita end kita punya class today. Ada satu soalan sahaja daripada CSR.
So, saya nak tanya, seperti kita tahulah, kan CSR ni macam tak wajib untuk semua company apply. So that ada ke macam apa kesan kalau satu company tu dia tak buat CSR?
Tak ada kesan apa-apa.
Oh, tak ada kesan lah.
Tak ada, kalau you tak nak buat pun tak apa. Cuma normally CSR ni company public listed company, kalau dia tak buat CSR contohnya, apa dia nak report dekat dalam dia punya annual report tu, dalam sustainability report tu, dalam apa-apa report. Itu yang kadang-kadang they have to come out dengan CSR tu. Sebab dia adalah company dimiliki oleh orang awam. Dan kalau dia tak buat CSR tu, kalau kat Malaysia ni, biasanya company besar ni dia ada buat CSR lah. Itu dah normal. Tapi tak ada pun orang marah kalau dia tak buat CSR. Sebab dia bukanlah syarat company kena buat CSR, tak ada. Dia menggalakkan dan dia encourage, bila encourage tu biasanya public listed company kadang-kadang tu they have to follow lah, kalau tak banyak dia follow sikit. Sebab dia bagi reputation dekat company tu. Bagi reputation dekat company tu, bagi reputation dekat Bursa Malaysia juga bila nak buat report, bila dia nak report nanti, dia takkan company besar tak ada buat CSR. Macam itulah cerita dia.
Faham? Thank you, sir.
Tak wajib CSR ni. Sebab dia memang corporate social responsibility. Dia bukan compulsory CSR. Dia depends on company lah. Okay. Yes.
Lagi satu, like a press conference tu apa semua yang macam invitation from local authority tu kira CSR ke sir?
Invitation local authority untuk program apa tu?
Press conference.
Press conference untuk apa tu?
Press conference dari segi kebajikan awam ke, or inisiatif daripada private institution ke.
Dia nak cerita pasal apa dekat press conference tu? Apa dia nak buat? So press conference panggil media and then dia duduk situ dia terangkan. Okay.
Contoh macam press conference about the featuring a new product lah to the society. So dari segi press conference dia akan tanya macam what's the new product yang akan apply for all, for those who siapa yang boleh guna untuk for the new product, atau contoh itu dia punya description lah. Tapi at the general of the press conference tu, is it consider CSR ke macam mana?
Produk tu bukan untuk society kan, untuk business tu ke?
Yang tu saya pun tak boleh nak describe, tapi saya boleh katakan the press conference ni dia ada banyak area lah, dari segi produk ataupun dari segi society issue ke.
Saya tak nampak press conference tu is a CSR sebab dia cuma nak announcekan sesuatu sahaja, nak share dengan outsider tu, nak share dengan public apa yang dia buat sekarang ni. Kalau benda tu related dengan program CSR, okey. Kalau tak ada kaitan dengan CSR punya, dia nak cerita pasal business dia, so dia tak nampak benda tu CSR. Sebab CSR tu activity yang dia buat tu. Press conference tu is not part of CSR sebenarnya. Cuma apa yang dia nak, kalau dia nak buat press conference untuk dia buat aktiviti, dia nak beritahu yang dia ada buat aktiviti CSR, aktiviti tu yang CSR-nya, bukan press conference tu. So press conference tak ada apa pun, tak ada, kecuali lah CSR tu dia buat conference, free workshop, free webinar, free seminar, free training. Itu CSR.
So press conference is not one of part tu lah.
So press conference ni ialah press ialah ni lah newspaper, surat khabar semua tu, and then dia nak buat conference, dia nak buat announcement. Kecuali conference, contoh dekat Kuala Lumpur Convention Center tu you buat conference, Malaysia Institute of Accountant Conference, International Accounting Conference, itu conference lain. Ini press conference ni ialah press conference yang depan-depan tu ada mic tu semua.
Ada baca buat pengumuman lah.
Pengumuman biasa. Itu yang macam Kementerian Kesihatan buat hari-hari masa COVID tu, itu press conference kan. Itu tak ada, itu memang kerja dia. Kerja Tan Sri Nur Hisham tu memang dia kena buat announcement, Kak Adi Jamaluddin memang kena buat announcement, dan penyimpan mohon besar raja-raja tu memang kena buat announcement hari Ahad ni untuk raya. Itu memang kerja dia.
Okay, faham sir.
Okay, soalan lain. Ada 3 soalan on CSR ni. Ada tak soalan lain? Okey, so kalau tak ada soalan, saya bagi kat carry mark ni lah. Okey, untuk grup ni, saya bagi 8.5. like you dah level dia dah improve, you punya slide dah okay, no problem. Slide you dah memang dah improve dan cantik. Nampak you punya ni lah, dia punya professional punya slide tu, gambar pun cantik, clear, cantik. Slide you memang 4.5. Tapi presentation skill you tu belum sampai lagi 4.25. So together saya bagi you 8.5 overall untuk you punya group presentation. So bila kalau saya nak bagi you grade dia dalam B+. You punya overall group presentation punya markah. The rest tu saya bagi A-. So far tak ada lagi yang A betul-betul solid yang dah boleh dapat 9/10 tu. Yang ni grade you untuk sementara. So esok kita ada Syafiq Reza dengan Syarul Helmi. Dan kita hope dia boleh tukarlah turn from A- ke B+ to A. A ialah for me 9/10. 9 tu A. Yang the rest ni semua A- overall. Tapi okey lah, A- okey. Ini dari sekadar ini je, dia belum carry mark lagi. Sebab kan nanti final ialah carry mark you 80 markah dah A dah. Ini 87.5 markah ni memang A. Secara gradingnya, tapi untuk saya kategorikan you all ni sebagai A- dulu. Okey, Fatin 8.5, Farah 8.5. Overall you punya presentation. So esok kita ada last presentation, kita akan completekan kita punya overall. After hari raya kita ada individual presentation. Jangan lupa you buat video you di tepi tasik, di tengah shopping mall, di tengah hari raya dan macam-macam untuk you dapat markah 5/5 ni ataupun 4.75 ke 4.5/5 ni. Individual presentation pun kalau you nak dapat markah 10, you kena ada line daripada kawan-kawan you yang lain. Perkataan tu bergerak-gerak ke, ada animation ke, ada video ke, ada interview session ke, ada quiz ke, ada Kahoot ke, tapi Kahoot panjang sangat kan, ada quizzes ke, you nak bagi ke, ada Q&A session, you bagi soalan dekat kawan you tanya you, semua tu lah. Itu baru dapat 9/10. Okay. Ada soalan lain sebelum kita end kita punya kelas 11:30 malam. Esok kita sambung untuk final presentation satu group lagi. Pukul 10 malam juga. Okay. Kalau tak ada soalan, till we meet again tomorrow night. See you then. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome. Jangan lupa you punya video ya. Nanti share link.